Hello, everyone, and welcome to Makeover Monday, Watch Me Viz for week 14, 2024. I know I didn't do one last week. I didn't like the data set, so I just decided to skip it. But it's nice to be back. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to leave them in the chat on the side, and I will do my best to keep an eye on those. As a matter of fact, I'll bring up the chat now. So if you have any questions, again, just leave them in the chat, and I will see what I can do. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'll move myself down to the bottom corner. This week's visualization is looking at, let me pull this over to my screen as well. Sorry, wrong screen. Is looking at this visualization. Let's see, no, not that one. This visualization here about the awareness of whether viral infections can be cured with antibiotics. And of course, antibiotics can only cure bacterial infections. So this is really a way to know if people really understand what the difference is. To me, it's a way to understand if people know what an antibiotic is really used for. So I'm going to start by just trying to rebuild this visualization. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it. It's pretty easy to understand, I think. And let's see what we could do with this maybe to make it a bit more interactive. So if I switch over to the data set, this is what we're looking at, exactly the same as the table in the visualization. So it's basically this table has been reproduced in Excel. So in Tableau, I've gone ahead and connected to that data. You can see we got everything over here on the right-hand side. First thing I'm going to do once I get into Tableau is actually change the default number format for these. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to sheet 1. And I'm going to select all 3 of those fields and then right-click, default properties, number format, and I will set them to a percentage to to 0 decimal places and click on OK. And there we go. So our data set is all done and we are good to go. So the first thing I do when I look at a new data set is I try to set up any defaults that I can. So let's go ahead and now get started again. I'm going to try to rebuild the original visualization. So I'll start with category on the rows and subcategory on the rows. And then we have 3 measures in the view. So we have can usually be cured. And then in order to make them a stacked bar chart, I'm going to go ahead and create a combined axis view. So I'm just going to drag all 3 of them onto the same axis. Here we go, onto the measure value shelf. And I'm going to move measure names to color. And now we can see they stack up. One of these adds up to more than 100 for some reason, which means either the data is wrong. So which one is this? This is, let me go ahead and turn my labels on. If I look at high school or diploma education, high school, so 33, 42, 26. So that adds up to more than 100%. So it must just be some rounding they're doing in there. That's okay. Let's not really worry too much about that. Now, I don't understand the sorting here. There's not really any logic to that, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. However, within the subcategories, there is some sorting we could do. So I'm going to go to my subcategory field and let's just go ahead and set up a default sort. And when this view comes up, I'm going to go ahead and change it to manual. And 18 to 64, 65 plus, that works out well. And then less than 40,000 should be above that. And then high school diploma or less, some college, and then at least a college degree. And then the original has men on top of women there. Okay, so we get something like that. I'll go ahead and edit the colors and try to match relatively similar to what they've done. So they've got a dark blue, a gray, and the gray makes sense because it's people that don't have enough information. So that kind of makes sense to me there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. So, actually I need to sort my measures as well. So it should be, the first one should be, so don't know enough should be in the middle. And then let's see, so we are looking at, okay, so these need to be swapped around as well. Cannot be cured. Okay, wait, did I do that wrong? can usually be cured. So that should be the first one. Okay. Yes. So the first one is can usually be cured, and then don't know, and then cannot be cured. Okay. So I think we're good to go there. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and edit the colors, and I'm going to make the middle color a gray. So I'll just choose that one and choose a gray. And then we want to use, they're using 2 colors of blue. So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to look at, let's see, there are some good blue color palettes. Where are they? If I could find them, that's even better. Here we go, the lightning water. So I like this color palette. So can usually be cured. Maybe we'll do a little darker blue there, and we'll do a lighter blue for that one. Okay, and there we go. So on the labels, I'm going to go ahead and set the font to, now, I don't know why it's making those black, probably because the visualization needs, there we go. So that's good. If we go ahead and format the view now, actually, I'm going to go up to format the workbook, and I'm going to go down to my lines and turn off my grid lines. Okay, and then I'm going to click on more. I'm going to turn off my 0 lines. What else? Turn off my axis rulers. I usually turn those off. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. So I'm just setting up some of the defaults. And then in this view in particular, I'm going to go ahead and format this. And so they put like dashed line dividers. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. I want to get rid of my column dividers. Those are the vertical lines. And then the row dividers, we're going to make a dashed line. So something like that. But we don't want it between the subcategories, so I'm going to reduce the level by 1. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate the label for my category. Let's hide the field label. Let's format this one and make it, I don't know, let's make it maybe 12 point and bold, something like that. Okay, and I could make these a bit wider so they show the whole text. And there we go. So I think that looks pretty good. I can go ahead and probably hide the header now on my axis. When I hover over, everything looks okay. And there we go. So that could be it. We could just stop there. And I would have no problem with that. I think it's a pretty decent visualization. One thing we might want to do different, so let me duplicate that. And it may be instead of showing the labels, I want the labels to be maybe on the left-hand side of each bar. So to do that, I'm going to drag on a, let's see, I'm going to, what's the best way for me to do this? Because I was thinking if I bring on a reference line for each cell, and I'm going to turn the lines off, untick the recalculate. Okay, so let's set the label to be the value. No tooltip, and we want to do it per cell. Okay, so that didn't work because now we see we just have the 100% value there. Okay, so let's get rid of the, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, what is the best way for me to do this? Let me undo, let me turn the labels on again. And if I label these to the left, then that puts them nowhere. So why does it not give me the labels on the left? Interesting. I just kind of want to move these labels around so they're either on the left side or the right side of the bar, but maybe I'm overthinking it a bit. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. Again, if you're watching and you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Manon, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And so, yeah, I mean, I may end up just leaving it like this because I think it looks pretty good. Something we could maybe do is we could possibly adjust the sorting. So I'm going to go ahead and create a, let's see, what's the best way for me to do this? I don't know. I had an idea to do some kind of custom sorting. I was going to maybe use an action to sort these colors. But if I do that, then the problem becomes there's not a logical sequence anymore. So what I mean by that is 18 to 64 and 64 plus, there's a logical order to that. So I probably don't want to break that. The less than 40, 40 to 90, 90 above, there's an order to that. I probably don't want to mess with that either. Same thing with the education and the gender. So I was thinking of doing that, but it's probably actually a bad idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just start doing some formatting. I've installed a new font that I like called Now. It's got it from Google Fonts. Where is it? If I can find it now. Okay, so that's it. I don't know why I like it, but I do. I use it a lot in on LinkedIn for carousels. Okay, so let me format this. If I get rid of the bold now, yeah, I think I like the bold on that. And then the color should probably be a darker color. How about these? These should be a darker color as well. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. I'm wondering if we should have a bit of spacing between them. So let's try going to analytics and bringing on subtotals. And you see that now adds them up. But what I want to do is I want to, let's see, if I click on the bar and I hide, that didn't give me what I want. Where is it? Where is the hide option? Total using hide. Oh, maybe I need to do them all at the same time. Hide. Right. Okay, so now we've got a spacer in there. So if I edit, if I format this and I set the total label to nothing. Okay, so now we get some spacing between them, which might look okay. So let's take this and now let's align it to the top. No, don't want to do that. Let's say center and center. Okay, but now we've got this gap, but these labels don't look right. So let me duplicate the sheet. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the total, or actually if I rotate that back, that again still, yeah. Now if I format this and I clear the alignment. So that gives us space between them, which looks nice, but then I don't like how this label here isn't centered between these. So that doesn't do it for me. I wonder if there's a way around that. I could probably, what if I put an average of 0? How about a null? Okay, so what does that, okay, that didn't do anything. So let's do the average of 0. Oh no, that's not right. That's not what I wanted to do. I was going to add another subcategory, but I can't do that. Okay. Total using automatic. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and get rid of my totals then. So let's remove all subtotals. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate that back again because I think it looks a bit nicer. How do you like it better with the labels rotated, or do you like it better? Let me duplicate the sheet. Or do you like it better like this with the labels like that? The third option would be to leave it like that, but then to align them center like that. So I think this option looks better than this one. So I'm probably torn between this one rotating it sideways and that one not sideways. Rotated bottom to top, maintains accent. Okay. Yeah, so I think, okay, so you all like this one as well. I don't really know if there's a whole heck of a lot more to do with this data set. I'm going to try duplicating it again. And if I just flip the rows and the columns and then set entire view, that doesn't, yeah, I don't like the vertical bars as much as I do the horizontal bars. So let me delete that. Here's another thing we could do. So let me duplicate this sheet. And I could make these all, if I make them all circles, will that, yeah, so let's try this. Let's make them all circles. And then I'll do the average of 1. And this average of 1 is going to be a bar. And I'm going to make it as thin as it'll go. Take that off. Okay. And then this one, I don't want the label on. And let's make this a, let's actually make it a line. No, I don't want to do that. That's not going to work. And then what I could do is if I make this a dual axis and synchronize, and then let's move those marks to the back, and then uncheck show header. Okay, so this is a slightly different view now. It's kind of like a dot plot. I would probably make these bars a lot lighter in color, and then make my circles bigger and put the labels inside the circles. So circle, maybe turn on the mark labels. Okay, the problem now is these circles start to overlap, so that probably doesn't work either. Okay. Right. Yeah, so that doesn't work. Okay, what else could we do? I was hoping that, let's see, we could probably do it as, let me see, let me try something else. Best practice says, yes, rotated button, last one. Minimize the head tilt. A Likert scale. So this isn't really on a Likert scale. A Likert scale is used for a survey that goes, usually it's like from like a 1 to 5 scale. So this doesn't really apply to a Likert scale. Okay, so let me try something else. So let me do a new sheet. And again, I'll do, or actually, let me duplicate because I like the formatting of this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of measure values. And I'm going to put, what's the first one? Can usually be cured as a dual axis. Let me show the header. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to make a circle. And I'll put measure name on color. And then let's make it bigger. Okay, so we get something like that. Turn the labels on, and let's center them. Okay, I'll make them a bit bigger at the end. And now I could make this a dual axis. And then synchronize. Okay, so that gives everything on the scale like that. Okay, yeah, so that's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate my average of 1. And then this time I'm going to say do not know as a dual axis and synchronize. Oh, let's switch these around. And this one should be a circle. Oops. Yeah, circle. And let's put measure names on color. And then increase the size. So for now, I'm going to make the size on both of these go to 1 tick. So just out to the tick so I can make sure they're the same size. Okay, something like that. And then let's turn the labels on and center a line. Okay, and then I want to take measure names off of that one. Okay, so that's number 2. And then let's do this again and put this one, let's see here, swap these around. So I'm doing kind of like 3 dot plots. Synchronize. Okay. Get rid of measure names. Go to the bar, make this one a circle. Drag the size over to the tick. And then the label we want to turn on and center align. And we want to put measure names onto color. Okay, so this gives us like a dot plot. Let's see, so do I want to, okay, I'm gonna actually swap all of these around because I want my header at the top. Let's swap these back around. Okay, there we go. And then this needs to be to the front. Okay, that's good. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to get rid of my tick marks here, or no, sorry, I'm gonna get rid of my title. And I'm going to get rid of my tick marks. And then do the same thing here. It's annoying that even though it's the same measure, it doesn't remember that. Edit axis, get rid of the title, tick marks, none. Okay. And now here, I'm going to edit this axis and I'm going to get rid of the tick marks, but I'm going to leave the labels, or sorry, leave the headers. No, leave the titles, sorry. Okay, so now when I do this one, ideally they all shift down. Okay, and now I can shrink this up, something like that. Great, so now I could format my axis here. And let's maybe set this one to 12 and bold as well, which I think is what I did here, right? Yeah, 12 bold, and then make the color the second down. Same thing here, 12 bold, second one down, 12 bold, second one down. Okay. Oops. And let me see if I can shrink this axis down any farther. Great, so something like that. So that's kind of like a dot plot. Now let me play around with these sizes a bit. Actually, let me do fit entire view. And if I shrink the size down a bit, I don't think I want to go that far. Yeah, so let's maybe put the circle right there at the edge. Okay, and then third thing. Okay, just trying to get them all to be the same size. So now the only other thing I have here is the row dividers. So I could make those maybe a darker color to divide it up. The other option would be to do some shading. So if I reduce the level and then put that down, I could do something like that, which I think looks pretty nice. I think I like that row banding there. Yeah, I think I like that. So I think that's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the custom axis. So I want to go from so minus 0.1 to 1.1. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to spread out the axes. Minus 0.1, 0.1. Just trying to give a bit of breathing room. I'll show you in a second. Minus 0.1, 1.1. So I'm adding 10% on the end of each line. So now what this means is when I look at this gap here, you see we have more space between the sections. So I think that looks a bit better as well. Okay. So any thoughts on that so far? Okay. So I think I like this one. Let's go here, and I'm going to Okay, so between the two, I'm going to get rid of my color legend. I think between the two so far, so that's just the bars. I mean, that actually does look really nice, but this is something a bit different. So I think I'm going to go with this. So I'll just call this my dot plot. I'm going to end up going with this one because I think I like it a bit better. So I'm going to go back into formatting my borders, and I'm going to set my row dividers to none. Okay, so that looks a bit cleaner. But I don't like how this is a solid line and the background is a bar. So I'm going to try something and see if it works. So I'm just going to double click here and do average of 0. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that on top of this axis. And then I'm going to make this one a line and put measure names on the path. Okay, so now that's a nice thin line. I can make it thicker so you can see it a bit better. And I could change the path now. I could make this a dashed line instead, something like, yeah, so that I think that's a lot better. Let me just move this down a bit, something like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with that. So this one I'm going to duplicate. Oops. So I could just duplicate this here and then duplicate it here. Oh, wrong way. Oh, what happened to my dual axis there? I messed up something. And then this one, measure values. Switch these around. And this one should be a line with measure names on path. And then did I do a dashed line, or I think I did a dotted line? Something like that. Okay, so this one should also be a line. Measure names goes on path. So I'm basically connecting 0 and 1 is what I'm doing by using those kind of dummy fields. Okay, so that looks a lot better, I think. Okay, but now I need to go back here, say none, get rid of the title. Got to do that 3 times, which is annoying. Try it again. Get rid of my title. Okay, so now I can shrink the axis back up. All right, so I think maybe those lines should be a different color. So let's maybe make those a bit darker. Yeah, I think that's better. So let's try that on all 3 of them before I do anything else. Which color did I choose? This one? Yeah. And then we want, oops. Yeah, let's do this one. I think that's what I chose. Yeah. Okay, so we could do something like that. I think I'm going to actually spread them out even more. So right now I've got, oh, what happened to my axis here? Oh, no, my tick marks. No, not my tick marks. My axis should have gone from, okay, that's interesting that it got reset. So minus 0.2 to 1.2. And then here, let's do the same thing. Minus 0.2, 1.2. Oops, is that right? 1.2. And then one more. Minus 0.2, 1.2. Okay, so now they're spread out even more, which I think that looks better. And maybe lighten up the row shading. Okay, let me give that a shot. Shading, row banding. If I do something like this, so it's already the lighter color. Can I do anything? There we go. That's a little bit lighter. But that only did so we need to do both. That there. How about that, Jen? Is that? But I feel like now it needs to probably have So Tim, yes, the dots can be sized. Which way do you think those should go, Tim? Do you think they should go bigger or smaller? And Jen, do you think that the yes, I know on my screen, or at least on the live stream, it's really hard to see the grayness in the background. Oh yeah, thank you, Prem. So the order should be. Oh, so I need to move these two. So if I highlight those and move them to the middle, bugger. It doesn't let me just move them. This is, oh, maybe I can do it like this. I wonder if I can do it this way. I wonder if I can move the axis. Nope. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out, Prem. I'm going to now move this over and make this one a dual axis. Okay, that wasn't too bad. But my scale is now messed up again. So this should be minus 0.2 to 1.2. There we go. Synchronize, synchronize, synchronize. Okay, so that's good. Okay, and let me format this header and the alignment. Oh no, that's the scale. Okay, so it doesn't let me, the title is just the font. Okay. I was wondering if I could push this down a bit, the title down a bit, but it doesn't let me. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I give it enough room. All right, shading is better. Is it enough to separate but not overtake the data? Okay, great. Thanks, Jen. I want to go in and look at my borders again and see what what I don't like. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but when you get to like right here, the marks, they start to like merge together, which is like really annoying. I thought it was. Oh, it's not letting me zoom in. Huh. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm messing something up. Okay, so if I zoom in on the screen, okay, it's not going to let me zoom. Oh no, my Tableau is frozen now. Okay, if I zoom in on the screen, okay, you can see that zoomed in. If I, let me just zoom in even farther. Notice how, if I look right here, how the dots get out of alignment. So the one on the left is the header, the one on the right is the chart, which is super, super annoying that they don't line up like that. Like, why is that? That drives me absolutely bonkers. Prem, no reason to say sorry. You helped me. Thank you very much for that. Okay, are there any other? So Tim, you mentioned that that you'd like to see the dots be sized. Which way do you think? Do you think bigger or smaller? Oops, wrong way. I don't think they should be smaller. So let me get, I'm going to have to get rid of the border because it just doesn't look good. We could make the circles maybe slightly smaller. I don't know if that's what you mean. Something like that. I would need to make sure they're all the same. Unfortunately, I have to control them all separately. And just hope I get it right. That looks about the same. Okay. The border was distracting anyway. Yeah, I was just curious, Jen, if it would help if it would help frame it a bit better. Okay, so let me go up to my worksheet and show my caption, because I'm going to go ahead and put the credits down here, which is what does KFF stand for? KFF. Okay. Is there like an about us? Here we go. Okay, doesn't say anything about. I was wondering if there would be a better description for the data source itself. So, okay, so KFF health tracking poll. Okay, so if I go back over to Tableau and I double click on my axis, I'm going to just reduce all that, maybe make it a light gray and 8 point. So I'll say data source is KFF. Is it KFF? I think it's called KFF health tracking poll. Health tracking poll. And created by Andy Kriegel. Okay, so I like doing that in the caption because when I bring it into the dashboard, I don't now need to add another Kaiser Family Foundation. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Kaiser Family Foundation. Maybe I'll just do that. They used to be called, I think that, okay. I think I'll, so Dennis, do you think I should call them KFF or the Kaiser Family Foundation? It feels like if they've been renamed to KFF, we should just go with KFF. So I'm gonna actually hit cancel on that. I'll just curious to see what you say when it comes back. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to edit my title. So I'm going to go back to the original dashboard and kind of, see if I can get any. I kind of like the title that they have. It's a bit descriptive, but so I think I'm going to say something like, let me move this back over. It's on the wrong screen. How well do Americans know what antibiotics are used for? Okay. And I can't grab the text from that, can I? Okay, can viral infections, okay. I could say something like a set, let's see, does it say how many? Figure 6, health tracking poll. Does it say how many Americans? I'm curious to see how many people were polled. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so it doesn't say how many people were polled, which is surprising. Okay, so I think what I want to say something like, it's going to take me a couple minutes to word this. Can viral infections be cured with antibiotics? Here's okay, let's say something like college educated women and higher income Americans tended to know better. No, that's not right. I was trying to I'm sort of trying to summarize the findings. So let me just do that. according, okay, to a poll, women there was some wording in the thing here. There was, okay. How about if I said something like, women know better than men? I'm trying to think of how to word this. So it's kind of something like this. That's annoying. Well, look at that. Why is the font different? What the heck? The font isn't the same. Adults with higher income and higher levels of education. According to a KFF poll, women know better than men, as do adults with higher income and higher levels of education. Okay, something like that. So let me make this smaller. It's a really hard thing to word, and I probably didn't really do it any justice. All right, coming up with a good title is always harder than creating the charts. Yeah, it's pretty tough here. Can viral infections be cured with antibiotics? According to a KFF poll, women know better than men, as do adults with higher incomes. And higher levels of education. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. And now I'm going to stick it in the dashboard. I'm going to get rid of my phone layout. And I'm going to just float this guy in here. Let me go back over to the sheet first. Okay, so I don't have anything extra. Normally I only have one chart, so I'm not going to bother like floating a container or anything. I'm actually just going to drag it in, which is something I normally don't do. So if I look at the outside here, I've got this tiled monster, so I can go ahead and remove that. And then I'm left with just my dot plot. So maybe I'll put like, I'll just bring it in off the edges. And it's interesting that it still has this other, you see the outside, there's still padding around the outside. Huh, that's weird. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just make this 0 and then make this 20. Okay. And then I need to also show my caption. And I think I'm going to call it quits there. N for the study was 1,026. Okay. 1,206. Okay. So I could say, according to a KFF poll of 1,206 Americans, okay. All right, so let me make the font a bit smaller so it fits on one line. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, what do I want to do for the size? I think it actually looks pretty good. Is it 1,000 by 800? If I make it skinnier, what does it look like? Yeah, but now my labels don't work because there's not enough space. If I make them taller, that doesn't really do any good. Smaller makes it too shriveled. Okay, I'm going to go back to 800. Okay, so that looks, I think that looks good. Okay, so but I want this to fit on one line, so I'm going to reduce the size to maybe 10. See if it, okay, so now it fits on one line. I wonder if I can do like 10.5. Nope. All right. Let's make this bigger. All right, so I think I'm going to call it quits there. In the comments, while I finish with getting the extract built and published up to Tableau public, in the comments, let me know what part you liked the best of this or something that you learned that you didn't know before. So just leave me something quick in the comments while I go ahead and create the extract and then save it to Tableau public. Okay, so I'm going to save it. 2024, week 17. Okay, now I want to save. Where do I want to save this? Makeover Monday, 2024, week 14. Oh, crap. Can viral infections be cured with and I think because I saved this on OneDrive, I don't think I can have a question mark in the title, so let me get rid of that. Oh, just trying to get rid of the, I didn't type the casing in correctly. Okay, and I'll save it as a packaged workbook, save. And now I need to delete this one and save again. Okay. The new thing for me was using multiple dual axis charts in the same view. Yeah, it's neat, isn't it? You can do a lot of different things with that Zimmy. Prem, definitely the plot, how you did was totally new to me. Anybody else have anything to add before I hang up? Let me go ahead and publish this to Tableau public and save to Tableau public. And let's move this over here. Oops, helps if I spell my name right. All right, so nobody else learned anything today. Okay, that's fine. No problem. All right, so when I save this, though, I'm going to put the question mark on the end. And let me go here. And oops, I did week 114. That's not right. That would be a long year, wouldn't it? All righty, so that is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. This will be up on Tableau Public. I'll post the link in the comments on both YouTube and on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you soon. Bye.